Out from Plymouth, I imagine, but there we go. Then it ends all square, all good, and I think a fair workout for both these sides as they start pre-season in earnest. Starting to do all the pre-season stuff with the ball and against competition. A tougher test would lie ahead for Orlando Pirates as they face Sevilla in their next one. But here at the Banyusa Football Center, it's ended. Orlando Pirates 2, Plymouth Argyle 2.
Playboy Limitless. A new dimension of attraction.
Okay, 1 week to get so fini.
Don't roll on my couch.
Daddy, this is the third time you come rolling back.
Hi, father.
Mama.
Daddy ngimnikeze chance after chance after chance. Akafuni ukuyofuna umsebenzi. Don't win this.
Hayi ngeke.
Ready to order?
Wangu filet.
It decline.
This July on Supersport, cycling's elite are lining up to claim the yellow jersey in the 111th edition of the Tour de France. Who will reign supreme as the world's best players descend on the grass courts at Wimbledon? Turn your Saturdays green and gold as the Boks take on the Irish in 2 titanic tests. The action comes to a climax as the champions of Europe are crowned. On the 20th, the Springboks close off the Castle Lager incoming tour against Los Lobos. And Royal Troon is the setting for golf's grandest major, the Open Championships. Then from the 26th, it's all eyes on Paris as 206 countries hunt for gold at the 2024 Olympic Games. In what world is every sport an official language? Only on your World of Champions.
Sometimes there's something mysterious in the air. An intangible force you cannot see, but can certainly feel. It knows no bounds and no borders. Some say it's contagious. Others call it Olympic spirit. Get ready for incredible Olympic Games Paris 2024. Olympics, sport, and more than sport.
Just brilliant! That's what they came to see! Big balls! Call for big names! That is quite something! Glorious hat-trick! The night of his life!
All the football, all the time, all in one place. All on Supersport on DSTV.
Get closer to your champions with Supersport and Toyota as we meet the athletes that are primed for Paris.
Bonjour, my name is John Smith. I compete for Team South Africa in rowing. This is going to be my 4th Olympics. It's a special feeling, and just to wear the green and gold with such pride. When I speak about my Olympic Games, like obviously London's the high. I feel like I've made a really great impact on the team. I think the guys really feed off me and learn from me, so it's a privilege to show them the path. That's why I'm back out here, and I want to go again. I want to taste victory again. Felt like the team really needed a leadership role. Just help teach the young guys how do we train, what are we doing on the water, off the water, and lead them, because a lot of them are exceptional athletes, but they just needed a little bit of guidance.
Follow Africa's Olympians, bringing the fire to the greatest stage of all.
À bientôt, Paris.
Closer to your champions, sponsored by Toyota.
Moment.
Get all the football you want on DSTV.
the Buccaneer fans and all football fans to the World of Champions live broadcast powered by SuperSport Bet right here from the Estadio Jesus Navas. This is the training venue for Sevilla. Behind us, you see the Sevilla players. The coach is standing with me with Coach Rivero. And Coach, Sevilla, La Liga side, wow, what an opportunity for the Pirates team today.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, Thomas, it's going to be an opportunity for us as a group, for the players as an individuals to have a good representation of South African football, first of all, and yeah, to push themselves to the limit because it's going to be a tough game. We're talking about one of the best sides in the league, so really looking forward for the kickoff.
Now, what are you expecting? What is Spanish football? I mean, you know it. You're Spanish yourself. What will be surprising to the Pirates team today that they may not have experienced before?
Not surprised, but probably the game is going to be played in a rhythm that we are not used to. We will be forced to share the possession, something that we are not used to do it also when we play in South Africa, but it's an opportunity to test ourselves in different scenarios, to compete whatever the game is taking us, so I'm really happy to have the opportunity to be here today.
And then Pomozo, I know you've been with the camp and with the team the entire time. We've seen the team sheets. Your thoughts on those team sheets with the coach standing right here?
I think when I look at the Pirates team sheet, I look at somebody like Sipho Chaine, second game back-to-back, Nda captaining the team today. Miguel Teams come back into that midfield. Saleng and Mofokeng still start the game. So for me, it says Orlando Pirates still wants to play enterprising football. They still want to be dynamic in terms of whenever they're in position of the ball. But I've got one question for the coach. Coach, you played against Coach Garcia. Last time Orlando Pirates was in Spain, he was coaching Las Palmas. Do you expect anything different since he has moved to Sevilla?
Not really. I think he's a coach with a background, interesting background in Barcelona, with a clear philosophy, a clear way of playing. So I think that little by little he will try to implement his own methodology, his own philosophy, probably with more speed than in the previous teams where he was working, because the material that he have here have a different component, but the core of his philosophy, I think, is going to be seen today from the first day.
All right, we're looking forward to a side, brand new coach at Sevilla in Coach Pimienta, and he is going to be looking to try and put something special. I'm sure they were not happy with the position they finished in last season, did Sevilla, hence the change in coaching staff. It's going to be a good one. Coach, we're looking forward to the game. What a great evening in Sevilla.
Thank you so much. Enjoy.
All right, guys, so that's what's going on as far as the action is concerned. It's about to kick off. Let's get you to our commentary team with Grant as well as Stanton Fredericks ready to call the game, kick by kick, right here, live from Spain in Sevilla, where SuperSport Bet is powering this broadcast.
So Orlando Pirates continuing their pre-season preparations in the land of the European champions with a very high-profile friendly this evening as they take on La Liga side Sevilla at the Estadio Jesus Navas, which is in the confines of Sevilla's state-of-the-art sports city, Ciudad Deportivo José Ramón Cisneros Palacios, a sprawling sports complex with 10 fields in total, a couple of artificial turfs. Of course, the crown jewel here, the Estadio Jesus Navas. So the Buccaneers, as we know, arrived in Spain. It was just under a week ago. They've already contested one friendly match, drawing 2-2 against English Championship outfit Plymouth Argyle on Friday in Marbella, just south of here on the Andalusian coast. A game in which they actually took the lead on 2 occasions, but weren't able to hold on. A good start to their pre-season preparations in terms of the friendlies. A fairly tough test against Wayne Rooney's outfit. Let's look at the lineups for the two sides, starting with the hosts Sevilla, who have been in training camp for about 9 days now. They started their pre-season 9 days ago. This is their first friendly match, and indeed the first time that they'll step out in a semi-competitive game under the new coach Francisco Garcia Pimienta. And he's not had access, of course, to all of his his stars and the new signings that they've made, 4 in total. There is one new signing, though, in the lineup. That's the Nigerian Chidera. But the back line, very young, no one over the age of 22 years in the back 4. Looking at Orlando Pirates, 6 changes from the team that ran out against Plymouth Argyle. Sesani is in for Mtetwa at the back, partnering Ulisen Da. Hotto in for Innocent Mayela. Tim gets an opportunity in pre-season. He's alongside Mbata in the midfield. They come in for Makaula and Rasibocha. Kim Vuidi is in for Maswanganya and Mabasa for Makropa. Many of the changes for today were players that we saw in the second half of that game against Plymouth Argyle, as they really switched things up in the second period. So the coach tinkering just a little bit for this big match against Sevilla. Could be good to see Tshekgasa Mabasa in from the beginning as well. Ilebogile Mofokeng continues with Modipolo Saleng operating on the flanks to aid Mabasa. Mofokeng, the only player in the previous lineup who wasn't withdrawn at the halftime break, so he has the most minutes of anyone on his legs. And then we weren't able to list them all, but an extensive bench of substitutes available to Orlando Pirates for today's game, and you would obviously be expected to see the likes of Maswanganya later in proceedings. They do come up against very, very tough opponents here, and they are not altogether unfamiliar, Orlando Pirates, for the new coach of Sevilla. Garcia Pimienta was in charge of Las Palmas when the Buccaneers faced them last year in a pre-season match in Marbella. He had just brought Las Palmas up from the second division of Spanish football, and he was able to stave off relegation this past season. With Las Palmas, they finished in 16th, 2 places below Sevilla, and he's managed to get the job with, of course, what is a much more high-profile side. So as a stride out here, it gives me an opportunity to introduce Stanton Fredericks. Privileged to sit alongside him to enjoy this pre-season match, and just wondering from your perspective what you're excited to see from Orlando Pirates in particular, but also what the coaches will be looking for at this fairly early stage in pre-season.
Good evening, Grant. Here, a brilliant opportunity here for Orlando Pirates here to come up against a European team with a lot of pedigree. They might not have had the best of seasons, ending in 14th position last time round, but it's a Seville lit with quality. So the difference in football is that, and we just listened to Rivero speak just before the match, saying that they're going to have to be able to play without possession, because Seville will retain a lot of possession. It gives them an opportunity to come up and try different combinations and see how you're going to acquit yourself when you are starved of that possession. So an opportunity for Orlando Pirates just to learn a different style of football, come up against and come up with solutions for Coach Rivero, and obviously look at a lot of combinations that he set up here in the pre-season.
Well, Coach Rivero was able to look at a lot of his players in the previous match. Is a list of the substitutes available to Sevilla. We've already run through their team sheet, of course. Wearing the number 21, we weren't able to touch on him for all too long, but the Nigerian who was out on loan from CSK Moscow at Royal Antwerp last season, he's one of 4 new signings. They've also been able to bring on board Piqué, as he's known, young Jera Fernandez, as well as they've just recently announced the signing of an Atletico Madrid legend in Saul, but he's not available for today's game. Jesus Navas has just retired from international football. He did a great job in the semi-final, although he didn't feature in Spain's win over England last night in the Euro showpiece, but he has indicated that he has half a season left in his legs. He will retire from club football at the end of December. He signed a lifetime contract with the team though, so he will be redeployed in some kind of backroom staff role, but of course not available today. We've just been with the national team, and there are a few others that have been out of Copa America as well that are not present, but big names on the bench. Lucas Ocampos amongst them, and they have fielded several players who have been out on loan. So amongst those on the field today, you have the likes of Alberto Collado, the 19-year-old playing in the midfield, who's yet to make a senior debut. He's been out on loan. Mateo Mejes, signed only 6 months ago, has played only for the reserves at this point. So an opportunity for the coach to look at a few players of the Orlando Pirates, makes fairly early inroads here, and Talente Mbata can't get a clean connection on that. He's spent the latter half of last season on loan at Orlando Pirates, a move that has been made permanent, and a player that has really stepped up to the plate for one of the big teams in the country. I think surprised many, but at the same time there would be plenty that weren't surprised at all to see him make the grade at this level.
Yeah, I just want to touch on what you mentioned with Seville. A few youngsters included here today, and that's what you find with the European teams, especially with the pre-season friendlies. There's at least 7 to 8 youngsters from the academy that will take part in this pre-season training, and just an opportunity for them first and foremost to see how the first team players operate, how they play, the level, and see how far off they are from the first team. So we'll see a lot of that in this Seville side here this afternoon, or this evening rather. It is in Spain.
There's a young Rele Mofokeng. Yeah, you might be thinking, well, it's the afternoon with the sun still shining, but local time, it has just gone past 9 p.m, same time zone as South Africa, but the sun only will set at 9:45 this evening in Spain. Something perhaps here in the southern hemisphere we're not used to the sun setting that late, but we'll be playing the second half at least under lights. And yeah, it has been swelteringly hot in Marbella, where they've been holding their training camp. Seville is known as the warmest city in continental Europe, so the temperatures have been up as high as the mid-30s today, and they're still hovering around 30 even at this late stage in the evening, with about 40% humidity as well.
Yeah, and that is a popular destination for a lot of teams around Europe. Myself, when I played in Russia, we would stay in Alicante, which is just down the road from Marbella, a 30-minute drive. So you'll see a lot of European teams do their preparations in Spain as well as Turkey, but Spain a very popular destination.
Warm weather training, I guess, is becoming more commonplace in the South African football landscape of late. Mamelodi Sundowns have been doing it for a little while, but Kaizer Chiefs out in Turkey for the second season running. Orlando Pirates in Spain played at the Barnes Football Centre against Plymouth. That's just a little down south on the southern coast in Marbella. I was going to ask you about, of course, time in Russia and Greece and Switzerland. You would have been accustomed to going elsewhere for pre-season, whereas traditionally South African teams will stick around and play local friendlies.
Yeah, but it gives you an opportunity to come up and play against a different opposition as you prepare, because intensity won't be at the highest, but you're certainly just looking for minutes, and places like Austria, places like Finland, Turkey as well are very, very popular for teams, and have mini tournaments, you know. So and as we can see with Orlando Pirates now able to come up with at least 4 friendlies, which is so important. You just don't want to run all day. So football has changed. It's not just running around the track anymore. There's a lot of science to it, and getting equal amount of minutes, giving every player the equal opportunity to get to a level of fitness, so important.
There's a Norwegian goalkeeper, Oren Nyland, out to Ramon Martinez, only 21 years of age. He's partnering Kike Salas, who for a large part of last season operated on the left side of a back three. He's only 22 years of age, but we've got a great education alongside Sergio Ramos in the previous campaign. Looking positive here are Sevilla. All out on the left-hand flank. Gets around his man brilliantly. Now can he find an option? It's loose in the area. Orlando Pirates able to scramble it clear. A show of intent from the hosts here at Estadio Jesus Navas. In your shot is Mateo Mejes, 21-year-old. Represents Colombia, but born in Zaragoza in Spain, and came through Man United's Youth Academy. Martinez,
that was some brilliant work down the left-hand flank there from Ajuke. And Lebitso is getting beaten there, but you'll have to be a bit more cautious going forward. As you can see, the experienced jersey number 10, Suso, just pulling the strings in midfield.
Suso, the oldest player out on the park for Sevilla currently, 30 years of age. And although Ejuke is a new player in the mix, he's one of the more senior players just in terms of age out there at the moment at 26. Lisandar should deal with this. He looked good against Plymouth Argyle and managed to get Orlando Pirates' second goal. And here it comes from a corner. You might think that he powered it home via his head, but pouncing on a loose ball to execute a very neat finish, the Nigerian.
Juke showing his skill. A live wire there on the left-hand side.
More eager to impress as a new player in these pre-season matches where perhaps players who've been with the club might be a little more settled and comfortable in their position, their status.
Most definitely. No, most definitely he'll be looking to show what he can do early on. And as coach possibly had his eye on him, and when he got the job, Garcia, that is Piamente, possibly bringing in Ejuke, wanting that bit of flair, bit of speed down that left-hand flank.